Shalom, giving all praise unto Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shemukah Kodash, double honor unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So I'm the brother Ibody coming out here to give you this truth through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shemukah Kodash, giving all praise unto Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shemukah Kodash. And in this particular lesson, I wanted to go into a few of the articles that have come out in the last handful of hours, maybe throughout the course of the day. And I think I'm going to title this video, "This is not about your health. This is about your freedom." But I'll see how I don't know if that's going to flag up anything on the YouTube. You know, you're going to be so careful now with the YouTube. And as you might expect, I'm going to be heavily censoring what I'm going to say in this particular video. So you can clearly see the hypocrisy of Esau out here within Britain, because they're starting to have those mandates now, and they are entering into a six week. You know, it's gonna be 6 weeks. It couldn't be 5. You know, it couldn't be 7. It had to be a 6 week consultation. You know, just something to think about. But they are entering into a consultation period, which they're probably, we're pretty sure, could be pretty sure that this consultation period, it ain't gonna mean anything. They're pretty much gonna mandate it. It could be I'll be surprised if they didn't. But it's highly likely that they're gonna be mandating this for frontline care staff and healthcare workers. So the NHS, the National Health Association for Britain, and carers, which I'm in the healthcare system. One of the jobs that I do is healthcare, and I do another job, but that's neither here nor there. What's interesting is at the beginning of the so-called situation that we've seen throughout the globe in the last 2 years ago, it was an expectation for this for these so-called healthcare workers and these healthcare staff to suck it up and help the elderly and all of these vulnerable people. This was what was happening 12 months ago. So you got a situation here where you're really beginning to see that the agenda is not about you. Okay, the agenda is not about keeping you safe. The agenda is not about keeping you well. The agenda is about a total control of your civil liberties, right up until the point of you getting money within your account. Okay, right up until the point of you leaving your household. This is the society that Esau's getting ready to set up within the world right now. We're seeing the same thing within America. Biden's pretty much said everybody's got to get the stabbing jab out there within America. Oh, you got to get tested if you work in a company that's got over 100 employees, which pretty much is the vast majority of these jakes out here. And it's interesting because as we see the pressure being applied, as we see Esau coming down with great wrath, because he knoweth he has a short time, we don't hear nothing about these. We don't hear nothing from these prophets that was talking about the law, the law, the law. We don't hear nothing from these so-called prophets that was talking about they was talking about our garments and how our garments was terrible, right? These prophets have been uncharacteristically quiet. Matter of fact, they've been pro the mandate because they're aligned with this society. They're not aligned with Yahweh Shema Shai. See, when you're aligned with Yahweh Shema Shai, you're gonna have to make a sacrifice. You're gonna have to go through the uncomfortable situation. You're gonna have to make decisions that are uncomfortable. You're gonna have to make decisions that, in the short term, are gonna be not very wise. No, not wise is the wrong word. Salakia. Not very. I'll say the people that's gonna observe it. Maybe it might be your wife. Maybe it might be your children. They're not gonna necessarily like you making that decision because it's gonna mean your comfortabilities are gonna be limited. But in the long term, it's gonna bring forth abundant riches, resources. See, when we say we're not gonna align ourselves with the image of the beast, the mark of the beast, of which this is what all of this is leading to, better believe it. Next time because Esau does this on like a 6 month rotation, right? Every 6 months, okay, we got a new variant. We need to do X, Y, and Z. We got this. We gotta do this. So the next time you see the pressure being applied, which now you're seeing the winter pressure being applied, and I think the next one is probably gonna be about, was it February? Because that's what we seen last year. We had pressure around about this time, and they was talking about a fire break in October. And sure enough, they applied the pressure, and we had a lockdown up until about Christmas, and then the pressure was applied again, I think, in around about March. Don't get me, do forgive me with the times if I'm a little bit out here and there with my times. Okay, so we got a situation where we can see that there's a pattern. So the next push after this has all been mandated, and they got it to where the government pretty much owns your body. This is what people are not realizing. And I'm talking about the layman. The layman doesn't understand that in these laws and legislations being passed, effectively your body is property of the government, man. Effectively, your body is now, they can do anything that they want to do with your body, right? So when it comes down to the next little bit of pressure that they're gonna apply, whether it be whatever letter they're gonna use, lambda, delta, or whatever Greek term they're gonna use, it's gonna be the chip, man. Okay, it's gonna be that digital integrated system where the economy is gonna collapse because of these shortages. There's no doubt about that. Gulf of Suez is closed up right now. Right, the economy is gonna crash. The next set of lockdowns is gonna crash the economy. You better believe that. It's like, what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen to the economy? And again, like I said, it's not about your well-being, because if you was sitting in a situation where you was having the pros and cons, surely the amount of jobs that's gonna be lost as a result of cities being locked down, jobs being closed off for extended periods of time, businesses not being able to operate in their full capacity, surely the financial shortfall of that is going to kill a lot of the people off, more so than this situation that can't be mentioned on YouTube for obvious reasons is gonna. And again, like I said, it's not about you, it's not about your health. It's about the total control of every resource, of which one of the resources that people forget to mention is you. You are a resource in this whole game. So that's the consultation period that they're doing out here within England. See if we can pull out a little bit more of the articles that's been released here in England. Now, here's a statement that they're making. They're saying, these workers could be redeployed. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. If you got 100 people that need to be looked after, you got 10 members of staff, you're going to have a handful of members of staff that's going to organize those members of staff, all right? Maybe 3. And then the 7, whatever, 7 people can do the 100 people, whatever the situation may be, you're always going to have more workers than you have more admin. That's just obvious. So this is a stupid statement, because you can't have more admin than you have workers. Again, this is going to have a profound effect out here within the UK. But they don't care, man. It's not about your well-being. It's not about your grandmother being looked after. Because here it is, they're talking about mandates, right? Now, again, like I said, I already work in the industry. And I got family that works in the industry. And as long as I've known it, since I've come into this country for the last 20 years, the NHS has always been short-staffed. Never more so than the time that we're living in right now, especially if you go into the care industry. I believe the care industry has got to this date 100,000 vacancies across the entirety of Britain, right? Hopefully they're going to be mentioning this here. But some unions, if we go to this paragraph, some unions and care organizations have warned that making the stab and jab mandatory will lead to staff shortages. No, you've already been in a staff shortage, okay? Right now, as we speak, me as an individual within the care, within the healthcare system, within that particular industry, there is it ain't functioning, man. It ain't working right now. Okay, the person that's doing admin is pulling their hair out. Everybody that does the admin within the care industry is pulling their hair out. It's not just one business. It's like across the entirety of Britain. It's not working. There's not enough staff to go around to do it. and and that's not an easy thing for a secretary to understand. If you're the healthcare secretary, not easy. It's not a difficult thing for you to understand. You get the phone calls. We ain't got enough staff. Can we get more money? That's what's been on the news yesterday. Okay, need more resources, but guess what? It ain't about the resources. It ain't about the money. It ain't about your grandmother getting taken care of. It's about the total control of all the people that you have out here within the UK, within Australia, within the United States, with the entirety of the globe. Because the scripture says what it says, and the scriptures must needs be fulfilled. Okay? The scriptures must needs be fulfilled. Revelations, the 13th chapter. Now, I know brothers go into the financial side of things, and when you watch their videos, man, they're beautiful videos, man. You really get to see the scope of what this man is going in on. And, hey, these scriptures is going to be fulfilled. He's going to cause all, both small and great, to receive a mark. Let's read that within the book of Revelations 13 and 16. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark within their right hand or their forehead. Now, we're not saying the stab and jab is the mark. No. There's actually going to be a digital chip that they're going to have as the next iteration to all of this. The next iteration to all of this is going to be the RFID chip, mark of the beast. Okay? The near field communication system that's going to link all of these passports that you're seeing throughout the four corners of the earth, along with the new financial system. It's all going to be linked. You're not going to be able to interact with the internet, with the grocery stores, because there's going to be a rationing system because of all of these shortages. You're going to be able to access all of these things unless you got that stab and jab. Okay, you ain't going to be able to You're going to be able to do these things unless you're part of that grid. That's why the scripture says what it says. So certainly this is just a step towards it. But man, we're so close. We can smell the cheese, man. We're so close to the meal. We can smell the gravy. Okay. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell save that he that hath the mark or the name of the beast. Okay, and this is what we're seeing throughout the four corners of the earth. The infrastructure of that is being set up. When you got it to where they're gonna say, when you got a situation where they're talking about electric vehicles, what do you say? What does the mechanic say? The mechanic says, if you're saying electric vehicles by 2025, I'm saying it's not gonna work because the infrastructure is not there. Let's apply the same system to the MOTB. If you're saying the MOTB is coming next year, I'm like, yeah, I can believe that. Why? Because the infrastructure is here. The only missing part to this whole situation is you being a part of the infrastructure. It's the only piece missing. We've had digital currencies. We've had digital currencies being linked up to social standings. We've got all of these things. We've got a system where you can't access goods and services unless you have a stabbing job. We've got all of that. It's just a matter of linking it up. Link it up you could link all of this up in a month. Right? The missing piece is you. All right, so that's the video. I know I was all over the place a little bit, and I do apologize for that. But hopefully this was of edification. But I'm going to say all praise unto Yahweh Shema Shai Bashim Kudash, double honors unto the apostles, a great millstone, and honestly brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.